Anyone? We have, started, where we start? Advantages? Okay. Only bear with me today without any, my SQL software. Definitely, I will, install tomorrow or day after. Then Monday onwards, I can, show you with many samples how to create, and then with a where clause or
Okay, ma'am.
from that. Okay, because today I can only explain theoretically. I'm trying some compatible problem. I couldn't, install right now. I was downloading from website, and then I got a 32-bit installation software, but my laptop giving error. So I asked one of my friend who's running some computer lab or center, computer center. He said he will, send it through some person from Trichy. I have to get it that software. So I'm waiting. Maybe today or tomorrow I will get it. Then Monday onwards, I won't show you this. What is that? Text. NCRT. I will explain using my examples. Okay. Okay, then yesterday what we have learned that the advantage of using SQL. So I have show you it is a portable. Easily you can install anywhere. Even in your laptop or mobile, everything. So portable means it can be moved easily. So porting means you're shifting or moving one place to another. So which means the SQL is easily you can install anywhere. It's a high speed because the SQL queries
Yes,
can
ma'am.
be used and retrieve large amount of records. Database has millions of records. You can keep it, right. So when you run, if it is fast, if you load millions of, in n number of records, if you run that, that database, that software gives you within a fractions of second. You may say that, okay, yeah, this database is pretty fast, and then it is efficient to use it, right. So that is 1 second. So the MySQL server is very high speed, so easy to learn. Easy to understand means it is not that much complicated. If you read a C++, Java, sometimes you may get fed up because the concept of Java is little bit program oriented, complicated. Once you get familiar of it, you feel okay, Java is good to me. But basically, and the person is learning. If you learn with quick span of time, easily, if you understand, programming languages, I would say Python is a easy languages. Nothing, nothing to do, write complicated code, because if you assign something, it will take. If you assign blindly a equal to string, a equal to John, it will treat as the variable a is a string type, right. So but other languages, you have to define what is a for memory allocation, you have to declare that. So that way I can say Python is easiest language, but some disadvantages are there, because they're comparing Java and C++. The Python has less libraries to work with. It is interpreted language. So obviously, if it is interpreted language, means it little bit slower, because it converts code line by line. So the compiler converts entire code in one go, right. Am I right? That is a difference between compiler and interpreter.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
so that is why easy to learn. Whenever I read that a SQL queries, when you write a SQL queries, select, start from, this and that, when you read line by line, easily you can understand what it does mean. The Java code or C++ code, you have to how declaration goes, and then what kind of parentheses you have to learn, what is C, I plus plus, you have to learn internally, otherwise you cannot understand that Python C code or whatever. But a SQL server, this language, it when you read line by line, you can understand, okay, this function, this condition is in whatever we have written here. Okay, this one is doing this job, this one is doing this process. Easily you can understand. So the SQL is used with a DBMS system with any vendor. Any vendor means it can use with the Oracle or any databases related. You can mix with that. So the SQL is used a relational database. So obviously, what is a relational database means you can use many tables. That tables are interlinked with each other. Okay, so that is the relational database. Database means you can work with only particular table, and then you can manipulate or add system only. The older system, they use only database. After later, everything the day, if you study database, it is only related relational database. A relational database means it is based on tables. Tables means you would say it uses a rows and columns. So rows means each row considered as a record for that particular item. Okay, the columns are considered as attributes. So if you create a table, you have to declare columns, and then column type, and then column size. For example, if you are creating a students table, then I know students, if you are creating a student record, what you need a student name, and then student number, a roll number, and then plus class, and then marks, and then average. If you need if you are producing a report card, you need this attributes are good enough. If you're creating a student's detail, for example, in if the teacher wants to call, if you take that report card, you cannot able to understand, okay, the students lives in Perambalur, or what is a phone number. You have to create a separate table. We don't want to mix with particular students report card table. You understand, right? Student, if you are creating a record for student, you have to create separate record. One is for the report card purpose. Only the student needs only roll number, class, and then marks, average, any comments. The student and the teacher, he always writes comments, right? Okay, this term Jashwant did well. This term Jashwant, absent in many days. Those kind of comments, you need attributes for that. But if you want to personal detail for that particular student, you have to create a separate table. So yeah, when if you simply saying that a database, only you don't need to create a type of table. Just you can mix with only single table student. If you select that student table, everything will be there, even those students number, address, and then personal detail also. So that is only study about database. So if you want to separate that the records, and then mix with that, so you have to relate with each table. That's what I am saying. Students report card, you should create a separate table. Student personal detail, you should create a separate table. Those two tables should be linked, related with each other. So now the relational database comes. Okay. And then the SQL is used for relational database. So then SQL acts as both programming language and then interactive language. The client server language. What is a client server language? For example, email. A simple example is email. So email, when you create you account for that email, you don't have a database for that. So commonly there will be a database and then client server. Whenever you enter login username password, it will authenticate. Okay, the database will be authenticate. Okay, this email id is valid, and then this password is correct. After authentication only we can sign in, right? So there will be a database whenever you log in emails, right? So that is what the emails are client server technology. You are a client when you enter username password, then server will be different, right? So the for example, if you are signing in a Google Classroom, so the Google server will be somewhere else, the database will be somewhere else. You are a client, you are entering into your classroom, so that is called client server technology. Okay, so if there's a SQL, SQL is used for linking front end computer and then back end database. So you understand what is a front end and then back end, how it works, a client and then server language, guys. Just imagine that email, when you open a google .com or gmail .com, then it will pop up that enter your email id and then password. So you are using a front end page. So that database should be sitting in somewhere else, you don't know where it is, right? But the server it will authenticate you when you enter username and password. It will verify, yeah, this username is valid, and then this password is also valid. Then only you can that next page will appear on your system. So that is called client server technology. So here they are saying SQL is used for linking front end computer and then back end database. Okay, it supports object based programming. So object based programming means immediately you have to think about what is a object based. So C, C++ are object oriented languages, right? Whenever you study the Python is also object based. Whatever you declare in Python you will call as object, right, guys? wake
Yes, ma'am.
up wake up Yeah, so that is SQL server is it will support that that kind of programmings. So these are all advantage of the SQL. Let's move on now. And going right page down, it will skip somewhere else. Okay. Okay, the types of SQL statements. We have 6, 7 types. Only grade 12 students, I think you will study only data definition language and then data manipulation language. So what is a data definition language statement? Means you are creating a database and then here, yeah. So data definition, DDL, we usually say that a DDL language. So the expansion is data definition language or data description language. Whenever you open SQL Server, you have to use one database. So by default, when you install SQL Server on your computer, they will give you a sample database. I want to show that. Okay, but I think I believe the sample database is called a sys or whatever. You can create a database. There will be icons. In the SQL SQL page, that if you click a new, then new database will be created. Why you're allowing to create so many database? For example, you are running a big factory, right? So I want to create some tables only the production base. So production base means what kind of material you are using, what kind of product you are manufacturing. So that need a separate database. Then employee needs separate database. They don't want to mix together. So if one thing, the production items, and then the raw material items, they should keep separately. Otherwise, something happen in one database, at least we can manage with the employee database, right? So always the big factories, even though in small companies, they will use separate database for particular actions or whatever. Because once you lose one database, you can rectify, you can get it back, but something may happen. You don't want to lose everything at a time, right? So the basic manage. So you SQL allows you to create many databases. For example, so don't about that manufacturing thing or whatever. You are creating some database on your laptop or desktop. You can use some sample data in one database. Then test purpose, you can use create another database. You can get it from the actual data from different databases. You know what I mean? For example, I'm using a SYS. This is the one database. By default, it will be installed on your computer. Okay. So this database has plenty of data. Maybe I would say 500 students detail. So you want to play with a particular set of records. You don't want to, really play with the actual data. So what you have to do, best way, you should create a separate database. I would say a school or whatever. You can add a new records, or create a new tables, and then add records in that table. You can manipulate. If you want any data, then you can go to this database and then copy, and copy hundreds of data record, and then you can insert in this database, right? So you basically, if you are playing with this database, sometimes error may occur. You falsely you do some other calculations, then the entire database will be collapsed, and then it will show you that Cartesian data. I will explain what is Cartesian data. So you don't want to always you take a backup of something, right? So that is a best practice. For example, simple example I'll tell you. This is NCRT, right? So I can play around, because I have modified a PDF into Word doc. Whenever I show you, I want to add something, I want to draw something. If I say, or by accidentally if I delete, then the next time when I open this NCRT, I don't this particular these two line will be deleted by accidentally, without I saving this document. If I close it, what will happen? I don't know what I have written here, right? So I always let me show you. See, I always create a backup. So I whenever this NCRT will be destroyed, I can take it from a backup, right? So it is a best practice. If you are playing with something, then if you are doing something, just to keep a backup of any data. Man, hey, humans make error, right? Always, not I cannot say I'm perfect in everything. So that is why we can use many databases. So just I'm saying simply, but big companies or big institution, definitely they will have a backup separately, but they will play with many databases. Okay. So the data definition language, what they will do, they will create a table, and then they will, you can create a table. There is a format, how to create a table. Create a table, that is a syntax for that. I will write it here. What is the format of creating a table, guys? Anyone?
Create table name,
Yeah,
open bracket.
yeah. Create table, then table name, table name students or student or employee or product or whatever, then open bracket with column name here. If you are creating for a table for student, so obviously the first thing is student roll number, and then student name, and student roll number, you have to declare that data type. So the column LUMN column 1 with a data type, right? This way you will create a table, right? Then column 2 it is a student name. In this way you are creating. Okay, let's move on here. In a data definition language, you can create a table and then alter a table. So which means sometimes I may change the name of that student. I have to update, right? So that
Yes.
keyword alter that table, and then you can delete the records. So that is what they are explaining. Data DDL statements are used to create a structure of table, modify its existing structure and of table, and then removing table. Okay, then next move on to manipulate data. So data manipulation means you are playing with that data. For example, it select that one record, student record, and then you can change that student name or number or excuse me guys,
Okay, ma'am.
1 second. Okay. For data manipulation, immediately the meaning of it. You are playing with the data, so which means you can select that record, and then changing mark or name or whatever you want, right? So then update and then delete. Okay, then let's move on to, we don't need to study about what is transaction control statement. I will explain. Transaction control statement means you are updating or changing something in a database. Here data definition, DDL statement and DML, what you are doing, you are changing something in a table wise. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
is it possible
Yes.
to run MySQL in CMD, ma'am?
Huh?
You can run MySQL in CMD, ma'am.
MySQL in
CMD, ma'am. Command prompt.
a command prompt. I'm not familiar about this. Okay, you can explain me how to run that. Yeah. I haven't
have
worked
XAMPP?
with the I have what?
XAMPP.
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 XAMPP. CD, let me check whether I have it or not. No, I haven't installed. Yeah, that is what I'm telling you. Teacher gave me that 32-bit exam file, but I don't know. That's what I'm telling you. Compatible error. I'm getting it. I couldn't install properly.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I never
Okay.
played in a command prompt. Definitely, I'll explain to him on Monday. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then the data definition language statement and then DML statement, we are playing with that only table wise, right? So here a data transaction control statement, we have to what we are doing, making a change to database permanently, and then undoing. If you done some mistake, you can rectify and then retrieve that all the data. So it is based on the database. Here DML and then DDML, you are playing with the table wise. Okay. Next, study about a data type. We have when I studied, I have studied only character, varchar2 and integer. Now in your textbook they are showing so many things. Let's see one by one. Okay, the character means it is a fixed length. The space padded. For example, if you are declaring a student name is a 10 character, but the passing, when you assign that column here, let me take here. Yeah, here data type is imagine. Let me create here student name, then roll number. Come on, roll number. So I declare student name is 10 digit. Okay, but I'm passing that value, John. So it's only 4 digit, right? But if you declare character, then rest of the 6 spaces will be padded with a blank space. So it occupies that memory, so it is not that much efficient, right? So varchar, what it will do, for example, if you are assigning varchar 32 bit or 10 bit, whatever, if you are passing that value is Ram or John or Peter, it will allocate one. It will the John size is 4, then rest of the 6 digit it will it padded with a null character. So the varchar only, if you whatever you pass, only it will allocate that memory. If you pass John, it will take 4 bit of memory. Okay, so the mostly the Oracle uses varchar, but definitely you cannot all the time play with varchar, because whenever you run code, sometimes you may pass the data, you can enter the data, or if you fixed with a varchar, 5 digit, imagine you are using a varchar data type of 5 digit. Later I want to use that student number is like a name is like a Morpheus Dialan or whatever. The first name itself, Morpheus Dialan, it will how many digits are there? It more than 10 digits, right? So there will be a problem. So they will use sometimes varchar. So sometimes they will use character. So that is why all the time they don't play with varchar 2. Okay, you know why we are not sticking with varchar 2. Whenever you want to play large string, number of the string size is bigger, you cannot go with varchar 2, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Imagine this student's record. If I use a student name varchar, then I have to declare that a size as well. So if I declare 10 digit, 10 digit or 8 digit, sometimes the student's name, now for example, it won't go like that, 15 digit student's name, first name. But in some places, if I declare
Yeah.
varchar 2, only one record, it goes beyond that size. What will happen? It will throw error, and then you need to update or alter that entire table. So you don't want that. So basically what they do, they declare as a character. So they know that whenever they are planning to create a table, they have to analyze this. Okay, when you study in grade 11 class, have you studied how to analyze when you start writing a program? There is a certain steps you have to follow. What is that? First thing is analysis, and then you're writing written format you have to write, and then you use that. Then you have to think, not algorithm. I would say that the cycle of that program. Later 7th stage only you gonna write a program. So before that, first, for example, you are writing a code for billing system. What you have to do, you are a programmer, you are running a software company, you're writing for a program. So imagine that. Okay, so then what you have to do, first analyze the problem. So okay, and then you personally you have to go to that shop. That's how they develop that software.
Yes.
Let's discuss about little bit. Okay, Imagine you are running a software company. You are going to develop that billing software for a particular shop. Okay, the person is meet you. They come and meet you, asking you that I want this kind of software. What you do, you will have a discussion with that customer, and then you will analyze. Blindly they will tell you that I am running this for example, imagine Akshaya supermarket or whatever, a Bata showroom or whatever, and they will ask you, I want a billing system. So what you will ask, step by step you will ask, okay, what kind of products you are selling, and then how much per month, how much quantity you are taking, how much you are billing for, price for that. You collect all the details from the customer, then you have to think about it, analyze problem, what you are doing. Okay, they need a billing software, so what kind of inputs you have to give. Sometimes the customers say, I will check every monthly reports, I will check yearly report. You have to write a program for that, right? So those kind of things you have to analyze. So imagine a daily billing system means you will create a page, and then the supermarket name or showroom name, and then date, and date. If you are fixing date, then it will it will go every day. You cannot change it. It will you have to write a code for that, right? So it will change automatically. Then the customer name or number. Okay, if he is a regular customer, he will collect a bonus point, right? If he purchase over the 100,000 rupees, he will collect some points, and then later days he can redeem it. You have to collect all those information. That is the analyzing phase. So what you have to first in analyzing phase, what you will do, understand that problem. Understand that problem means not a real tug of war. So what they are expecting, what you have to do, first discuss with that customer, then you will note it down, all those things. Then okay, after the customer left, you will write, okay, he needs that a monthly a report, a yearly report. You have to write it separately. Then developing algorithm. So then after analyzing all those things, you will develop that algorithm. So what is that? You have to start, and then what kind of input you will collect. Inputs mean not only the products item, the price as well, the input, right? So price means they will differ 1 kg. Then you will calculate how much 100 grams and then 500 grams. Everything will be counted, right? And then
Yes, ma'am.
you will identify the operation, what kind of operation you have to do. That is developing algorithm stage. The next one is you will write a code. Then next after writing a code, there is a phase called testing. When a programmer, they will they will use dummy data, right? So when you go to real time, definitely you will face some errors. So after testing phase is very important for writing a program. I have to write it here, otherwise you will coding. After coding, you will run that code, and then you okay, your billing screen is ready. And then database, you have to feed that data, right? You need a billing scheme on the front page, okay, item number, and then price of it, and then weight of it, and then total amount. That is not enough. You have to create a database, and then you have to load all the data, because the customers, they don't do it, right? So in the supermarket, they sell plenty of items. The programmers have to create a database and feed all the data. They sell detergent, fabric softener, and then grocery items, and then chocolates, this and that. You have to play with all those data, dummy data. The testing phase you will do with the dummy data. After testing done, what you will do, you will take that software and then install into the customer client side. If cashier, they have three cashiers, you can right away you cannot install with the three cashiers. Only first starting with first install first cashier desk. Then what you do, they will play with the real data. They will scan, and sometimes, many times, not sometimes, many times, they will come up with many problems. Okay, sir, it is not calculating properly, this and that. Then you will find your code, dummy data always you will easily you will clear and everything. When you play with the real data, definitely the programmers will face many issues. They will find a new issues. After that, again, you will rearrange all the code and everything. Then only you played with the real data completely. Then only you install use you sell that product for that particular client. So this is the programming solving cycle. So when you go to a real job, they will ask you analyzing phase and then designing phase. When you construct a house, imagine that. Okay, then forget about developing a program. When you construct a house, what you do, first drawing, architectural drawing, and then
Yes, sir.
before architectural drawing, what you do, okay, I need hall size like 20 15
Asking the
feet or
customer,
10.
ma'am.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, before going to architect, you imagine you are going to build a house. So you should go with plan. I need my plat size is 40 to 50, and then I need a hall this big, and then I need only two bedrooms, or master bedroom should be this big. You cannot, you don't say this feet or that feet. You will say roughly, you will say, okay, I have queen size cot or king size cot. I want a space with around that cot. If you say that, then architecture know that, okay, king size cot means this much size, and then that they will create that bedroom size will be 15 feet or whatever, right? So you always go with
Yes,
some
ma'am.
information. And then the architecture will, if you go, if you meet architecture, they will ask n number of questions. I can the same way, if you are a programmer, the client comes, and then they are asking some software. You have to collect all the detail. You cannot roughly okay, billing software for grocery shop, okay, done. Once you develop that software, okay, you can sell with another customer, but they have some restrictions. So sometimes they don't sell for chocolates, and they don't sell for plastic items. So the Akshaya supermarket, they are selling plastic items, and then the stationery items as well. One supermarket, they sell only grocery items. So what you
Groceries.
do, you have to define some functions. Only this function will execute a grocery item. This function will execute the accessories, pen, pencil, notebook, or whatever. If you go to a FSM supermarket in Tucci, they have yeah, A
Everything.
to Z. Yeah, A to Z, right? So if you sell that billing software, you need to add many things, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you can create a billing software. Then depending upon the customer, you can add this and that. So when you are trying to create a software, there is a cycle: analyzing phase, and then developing algorithm phase. And then in developing algorithm, they have certain criteria. So you have to use identifying the function, identifying the operations, and then fifth, sixth stage or seventh. When I studied, I always says coding is a bottom stage. Coding, testing, implementation, that's it. Before that only you have to work around a lot. Okay, once you started coding, you cannot ask, oh, what is that, what product, what is the price, nothing. So once you started writing a code, you should have all the information in your hand. Okay, so that is a good practice of writing it. The same way, in a grade 11 stage, whenever you are writing prime number, calculating for prime number or factorial, you have to understand the concept first. Okay, what is a prime number, how it will work, a Fibonacci series, how it will work. You know that Fibonacci series start with a 0, and then it will it will increment by 1. Then next number it will add adjacent number, 0 plus 1, okay, 2.
Yes,
Then
ma'am.
next time, so this way, if you the question will be raised, write a code for Fibonacci series, you need to know what is Fibonacci series. Then roughly you will write on the in your test paper side, on the right side you will do some calculations, right? After that only you are writing a program. So in the same way, in the testing, when you are writing an exam in a paper, you will do that. But when you are writing a code in a computer, that is different story. But before that, you have to know what is that, Fibonacci series or bubble sort or whatever. You have to understand the concept. Then only you can write a code. The same thing. Big programs also. If there is a cycle. Okay, imagine you have written code for bubble sort. You have to definitely, you don't run only once and then you finish that code. You will play, I will play with a different data. First time I'll pass this data number, prime number means I play with a 5, and then I will run with a 7, 6. I will check all the data, calculating correctly, it is displaying correctly, right? So that is the
Yes,
testing
ma'am.
phase. Okay, come on. What is the next step? Already we are running out of time. Okay. Then a character, a data type. So the rest of the data will be padded with what did I say? Blank space, right? The varchar, it is padded with a null character. If you assign varchar 5, so varchar 10, but the passing data will be 4-digit, means the rest of the 5-digit, rest of the 6-digit will padded with a null character. So it will occupy that memory, but we cannot help it out, but we will use varchar. The varchar 2, already I explained, how many, what is the size of that varchar 2, you can store up to 4,000 bytes. See, imagine how big it is. Okay, so examples are given here. Do you want me to stay and explain this,
Yes, ma'am.
guys? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
No, already I told you, if you are declaring character 10, just character 10, it has a fixed length and then right padded with a space, which means when you declare character 10, after you are passing John, and then rest of the 6 digits will be padded with blank space. If you are using varchar data type, this is also fixed length and the right padded with a null character. See, for example, if you are assigning this yes name, student name, data type is varchar, but you are passing that data John, then rest of the 6-digit padded with a null character. So, when you declare a data, it will allocate memory right away, right? So you have
Yes,
to
ma'am.
think about it. Okay, character varchar is necessary for this or not. So then varchar 2 means whenever suppose if you store name Ravi, then the first 4 digits will be filled. That's all. Then the memory won't allocate for the next rest of the 6 digits. Okay. So then next to move on to, that's what they are explaining. if you use this database access, the string is fixed, the SQL Server character, they are explaining what is a string variable, how much space occupied, and then what kind, in Oracle, what they are using character, and then where character they have given here. So now don't worry, when you are writing a code, SQL code, you will understand. Okay, so numeric data type.
Yes.
Okay, in your textbook they have plenty of data type. I will show you here. See, in the new latest textbook, they have these many data types, character, the space. If you declare space, you can use 0 to 255. So when you declare character of 10, then memory will be allotted for 10 digit. Okay, so if this is maximum, you can use 255. So varchar means also 255. Tiny text, there is a data type called tiny text. This is new thing for me. I never used tiny text in SQL Server, but I'm learning this. Then if you are declaring a text, it will, you can use 65,535 digits. Okay, minimum text, medium LOB, medium BLOB. So BLOB means binary large object. It is expansion for that BLOB. If you want, note it down. I don't know whether I don't see the expansion in your textbook. So binary, I will write it here. Binary large object. LARG, large object. Okay. So the long
Yes,
text,
ma'am.
you know that the meaning of a simple meaning. A long text means it is a string type. How much you can assign a 0 to 425. The tiny integer means small integer minus 128 to plus 127. This is 2. Okay, not minus. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So then small integer, there is a difference between tiny integer and then small integer. So you can use minus 125 to plus 127. And the small integer means it is minus 32,768 to, just you understand what is that media or data types, and then the meaning of it. Medium integer, so medium integer, maximum, minimum this, and then maximum plus 8388608. Okay, so I believe you
Ma'am.
don't use this many data types. Definitely you will use only integer or float or character or varchar. That's it. But in your textbook they have given, just to go through it, and maybe in the exam point of view, one more question they will ask you. Okay, so then double, the main
Yes, ma'am.
double date. Okay, let's come here. Date in SQL Server, the date format should be 4 digit of year, and then month, and then date. Okay, so date time means it will display year, month, day, hour, minutes, and second with a separator. So there is a fixed format. In the settings from the tools, they have always default properties, right? You know that, right? For
Yes,
example,
ma'am.
if you take a PyCharm, if you want any settings, there will be a properties, this file property. If you can change that design and everything, you can when you open a SQL Server, you can change this separator, like a slash, or colon, or hyphen, or underscore. There will be an option, you can change it for the separator. But daytime, you have to declare 4 digit of year. You cannot assign 20 and then month is September 09, date is today's 18. You cannot declare that. You have to write a complete 4 digit of year. Okay, so timestamp
Yes,
means
ma'am.
it will without any separator, it will give year, month, date, and that is a difference between daytime and then timestamp. Time, as usual, we know that hour, minutes, and then seconds. Okay, these data type, these many data types are available in our SQL. Okay, let's move
Yes,
on
ma'am.
to then next thing. What is that? I have to show the Cartesian number. When you declare a number, this one is a total size of it, and then this one indicates if you use a fractional point, it will give you number, means it will automatically, it will include integer, and then it assign as a floating number, right? So if you simply say
Yes.
that this data, the roll number is a float number, it will take floating point. Okay, so the P is a total number, and then S means it is after for decimal point how many digits you want. Okay, then if you explicitly, you can declare that integer or float or whatever. Okay, so Python,
Yes,
how do
ma'am.
you do that? The same way, that in SQL language also you can declare that. You don't need to worry about data. I already explained. Okay, relational algebra. One second, guys.
Okay, ma'am.
My coffee became cold coffee. I don't like it. Okay, algebra is a
Drink some water, ma'am.
combination of set. Huh?
Drink some water, ma'am.
No, I'm drinking coffee, man. Okay, so what is the relational algebra? You have already studied that. Boolean, when you studied that number logic, number conversion. The Boolean algebra. There will be a operand and then operator. So operand means if you add two numbers, A plus B. These twos are called operand, and the operator will be plus sign, right? So arithmetic operators, plus, minus, multiplication, everything we are going to use in SQL as well. So that is what they are explaining. Operands and then set of operators. We can form. Okay, where we gonna use? Badly, I need say SQL now, because I can show that. Okay, for example, if you are calculating a student's mark one, Tamil, English, physics, chemistry, whatever, how do you calculate the total? You will add each mark, right? At that time,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
will use total equal to. Equal to is a assigning operator, right? Then you will
Yes,
add a mark 1 and mark 2. M1 and M2 is called the operand. Then plus sign is a operator. For example, you are calculating some employee detail. When you calculate a salary, that will be that time you will use different arithmetic operator, which is multiplication or division. Student record, you are not going to, but average, when you calculate average, the total divided by number of subject, right? So
yes,
that
ma'am.
is called relational algebra. So what are the operations are available? Selection. So selection means what? You are selecting particular student record. There is a syntax: select, column, attribute name, maybe a student number, or simply you are saying that. Let me write it here. Selection, select, attribute name. If I assign a student S name from student table, if you select this, what will happen? It will give all the name of that student. Whatever you have entered 5 students in a record, it will display the name of entire student's name, right? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Then they have given, definitely they have given that example. Selection. Yeah. See, this is a student record. They have created a table called yes for student. And these are all called attributes. They have 5 attributes, and then how many records are there? 6 records. Okay, what is the condition? Condition, let's see down. Yeah, class 12. So with in that record we have different classes, class 12, 10, 6, 9, whatever. If you pass that query here, simply they are saying that when you write a query you have to write a different way, right? So for understanding purpose they just mentioned that without any proper syntax, they have given condition class equal to 12. So what you will get, it will return a 0 this record, and then these two records will be written, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the condition, and that is the selection. If they ask section should be A, then you will it will return this record and then fourth record, Usha. Okay, so that is a selection. Projection means you have to declare with attribute name, entire attribute name. For example, if I enter admission number and then name, it will return entire these two rows, sorry, these two columns. Okay, so that is a projection. Union, union means if you create a two table, that two table columns must be equal. Here students record table has 5 columns, then you are merging with some other teacher's record. Okay, so if you merge with the teacher's record, then teacher table also have 5 columns. Otherwise, the Cartesian product will appear. And
Yes,
you can understand, right? A union.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
union means you are adding 2 tables. So there is a condition, the 2 tables columns should be equal. So okay, let me show you output. Yeah, okay. Then so see the projection they have given, the condition subset of columns at the what example admission number, and then it returns whatever the record in our database, it will throw here. Then union, they have to create, yeah, table 1, student 1, they have created 2 rows and then 3 records there. Then they have created a student 2 the same way. They have student 2 table has 2 columns and then 3 rows, 3 records. So if you merge with a student 1 and then student 2 using a union, this is a keywords, right? So if you use this,
Joining the
then you
table.
will, yeah, joining tables, yes. What will happen? It will check each column. If the student 1 has, roll number 11, but a different name means it will add a separate record. If student 1 has roll number 11 and then Rahul is also there, only it will display 1 record. You know that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see here. See here, roll number 11, Kumar, 22, Mohan, 33, Rohit. Here, in this student, 22, Mohan is there. So what it will return? It will return only 5 records. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then see, it will return only 5 records. 11 Kumar and then 11 Rahul will be there, but Mohan it will display only 1 time. So that is a union operation. Then Cartesian product, what will do? Here, let me show you. If the passing parameter, the condition, if you pass an invalid condition, what will happen? It how many columns are there? Here 2 columns, but in student record I will create 3 columns, and then what happened? Time, sir?
Time up, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay then. Okay then. Now, tomorrow you don't have a computer class, right? As per new timetable.
It's there, I think so, ma'am. 1 minute, ma'am.
Yeah, please make sure, then I can, let me stop this class first recording.